Hello everyone. Uh, I hope everyone is doing well. Your weekend went nice, and everyone is safe as well. So if you are new to GDG Chennai, so you can go to meetup.com/GDG Chennai and you can join our group. And we are really trying hard to at least during this lockdown time, we will be able to give you a lot of content which will help you upscaling yourself. And apart from that, you can also suggest if you need something, and we will take that feedback in consideration and we'll come up with more speakers, more content. So we are trying to do, if possible, at least every weekend, or if not, at least once in a 2 weekend, something like that. So I I guess our speakers have joined already, and guess what? This time we have a something in break. We have a small game for you all, just like how we used to do in our normal events. So we got a lot of interesting questions as well there for a quiz. So once first session is done, we'll have a very small Q&A with Vivek, and after that we'll have around like 10 minutes break. So if you want to go on a break or if you want to play a game, you can be a part of that. And after that we'll start second session by Ayush. Till now, do you have any questions or something? Anything? Okay, good to go. Does Flutter have a scope? Okay, Mohan, that's a good question. So once the session is done, we'll take that question, in Q&A, so that your question has a very valid point as well, so that everyone else in the meeting could hear that question as well, and will be, it will be helpful for them as well. So these questions will be answered at the end, or maybe after the session. Okay. So without waiting, we have our first speaker, Vivek Yadav, okay, and he's a organizer of Flutter Mumbai user group, and he's been a Android developer as well. So without wasting time, let's start with this session. So I'm gonna see you after the session, and Juhi has also joined us, so she also got a lot of stuff to share with you all. So let's see.
Hello everyone. Uh, I have a small story for you, and my motto is not to bore you, seriously, but to provide you a useful information with some fun. And before that, let me introduce myself. I am Vivek Yadav, a Flutter developer at Rerev. I also have a startup, Stringsway, where we are committed to build tech solutions in education field. I help companies to build robust and scalable products through consultation. Also, I am an organizer of Flutter Mumbai and I speak at several platforms. This is my first talk at GDG Chennai, and thank you GDG Chennai for this opportunity. So without wasting time, let's start with the story. So there is a guy who is a developer. He he wanted to build applications in Android and iOS. So he picked up Flutter. He started well. He made very good progress in his journey with Flutter. He made two, three good applications in Flutter, and because of that, guess what? He got a good job in a startup. One day, CTO came to him and asked him to provide a new feature. The developer searched Google for the solution that feature in Flutter, but he didn't get any solution that could be implemented in Flutter. Although he found that the same solution is available in native Android and iOS libraries. So he wondered if it is possible to use those libraries into Flutter. And he found a solution and named it as a platform channel. And today we will see how we can use that platform channel, and we could be capable of using any native libraries in Flutter. Okay, so as you can see this image, I'll try to explain you. So basically, platform channel is a medium through which Flutter communicates. Uh, okay, through which Flutter communicates with Java and Swift. Okay, when I say native, that time I am referring to Java or Swift or Android or iOS. Okay, so platform channel is like it is like a message passing, a passing message to and fro between platforms, between Flutter technology and between Java or Swift technology. So we pass some data to native and ask native to perform some small task, and after completing the task, native sends back some information that this thing is completed, or to notify a Flutter that the work is completed. And the whole process is done by platform channel. Okay, so if you can see in this image, there is a Flutter app uh, from the left side, and the right side you can see there are some app delegate or activity. So app delegate is for iOS and activity is for Android. And from Flutter, if you can see, there is method channel in between them. So through method channel, we pass some information or something our host or platforms. When they get that thing, then it's completely a platform related coding, or you can say then the things change and everything is done in Java or Swift language or Kotlin. So that is the platform channel, and it is very simple. I'll show you how. So there's important thing to know. The this platform channel in Flutter is method channel. In Android, it is method channel, but in iOS, it is Flutter method channel. Okay. So let's see some code in action. Okay, we will try Android's method channel. Let me know if you can see this screen.
Yes, we
Okay.
can see.
Okay. Nice. So I'll not explain the upper part. That is simple. We have initiated our my application and passed a Flutter material app. Okay, then we have called Flutter method channel implementation. So things to remember: everything works on the basis of strings. So I will send some information into strings that this is the part, and you have to perform some task on it to Android. So very first thing, uh, we have to initiate method channel. So in the PPT I have said Flutter have method channel. So Flutter Tech have method channel. We have initiated it Flutter method channel with a string talk. So this is its identity. Okay, remember this thing. The talk is identity of this object. Okay, this is not useful right now. Okay, let's go to this. If you see, okay, I'll explain you this part later on. Just before that, I'll show you my screen, and we will run this application. Okay, so you can see on the top it is not initiated, and there is one button initiate method channel. So not initiated is the value. which is by default not initiated. And on the click of this button, on the click of this initiate method channel button, we will call a method init method channel. Okay. So on the init method channel, we will get some values in return value, and we will update that in place of method channel value. So I'll show you first demo, and then we'll jump on the code. So I'm clicking initiate method channel, and guess what? We got a hello from Android. Oh, it's untrue. Okay. So let's see how it is done. So if you can see, I'm using my method channel dot invoke method, okay, and passing a small say hello. So this method channel is a way, or you can say has some small methods which take a string that is an identity of the function you want to call in your platform side. Right now it's Android, so on the Android side. So I'm saying method channel use my talk method, or you can say use my talk, and inside the talk, can you call or can we invoke say hello method on, and on completion of say hello method, please pass me some data, and I will store that into return value. Okay, and if return value is not null, I'll update that in method channel. Okay, you can see the method channel value is displayed into text, and we have hello from Android in place of method channel value. Okay, so that means our platform channel worked perfectly, and we got a value from Android. So this was a small implementation from Flutter part. Okay, let's see what we have to do on the Android side. Okay, don't worry by seeing these red things. Okay, I got some problem with my IDE. Okay, so it is simple. It is a Kotlin where we have initiated our main activity with Flutter activity, and we have a function which is by default provided by Flutter, which is configure Flutter engine. Okay. Apart from this, now you have to look at this part. Talk. Have you seen the same name anywhere else? Yes. So we saw that here. Talk. Okay. Now, so I'm initiating method channel with exact value of talk in Flutter as well as in my Android. So in Android, I have made a small method channel string value, and I'm initiating the same method channel by using method channel class of the Android. Okay, and I'm passing dot executor, okay, plus method channel, so that now my identities are same, and I can invoke any function, or you can say anything on the same identity. Okay, so it is simple. Method channel, yeah, set method handler, call and result. So call holds the data whichever we send from the platform, I mean from Flutter, and result is responsible for sending uh, some data or some information back to Flutter. Okay, so we can have multiple functions in one talk or in one method channel. That's why we could have a switch or if else conditions here to check if that method matches the function name. So if you can see a function name say hello, which is exactly same as the function name say hello in Flutter. Okay, so what? Okay, and when Android matches this thing, then you start your actual work, and the okay. you start your actual work in your platform, right? So I can open an activity here. Okay. uh, I can uh, I can open another application from here. Okay. Let's come to the story. So now when CTOs said him like CTO called him for a new feature which was not present in Flutter, but it is available in Android native. So we can use this method channel, and we can call that feature, or we can implement that feature in our Android part. Okay. And it is very simple. If you can see, now I'm in Android part, so if you can see my folder structure, that is exactly same as Android. We have our build.gradle, we have our activities. Simple. So we can create another class, or we can add another module or anything else. It is exactly the same as Android. So if you're Android developer, you can easily grab it, uh, and you have your feature ready. That is important thing. So take an example. We are using Zoom. No, we are using GoToWebinar right now, and I don't think so. GoToWebinars, this SDK will be present in Flutter, but I'm sure that its SDK will be present in Android. So we can use platform channel. We can call all the functions from platform channels to the GoToWebinar. So for example, the um, first will be open meeting, yeah, right? Login, so all those things. So what we have to do, then we will rename it to go to webinar or something. Okay. And then we'll have multiple switch conditions here to check out our method name. So it will be like open meeting, do login, do log out, open video, open audio. So like that, we will have every function that will be calling from Flutter to Android or iOS. Okay, so that's it. This was a platform channel in Android. And if you want to look at this thing again, so let's say, yeah, and very important thing, whenever you change anything into Android, always keep in your mind, you cannot use hot reload or hot restart at that time. You have to stop your app and restart it again to see your changes. So for example, I'm changing this to talking, okay, and talk, okay, and let's try to run this. It takes some time. Okay, do you know why this behavior happens with Android? Uh, why Flutter's hot reload and hot restart is not useful when you're working with Android? So it is basically Flutter have its own SDK on above the above the Android. So whenever you change anything in Flutter, so Flutter is able to do all those changes in their SDK alone. But if when it comes to platform, Flutter is not able to do that thing because the platform doesn't provide that. Okay. So I'm clicking initiate method channel, and it is calling hello from Android. Let's change some data in Android. So hello from somewhere in Galaxy. If I reload it, you can see uh, I'm getting the same data hello from Android. Why it is not reflected? Because the hot reload or hot restart is not working in Android, not working Flutter when you work with Android. So we have to stop it and start it again. Okay. So if you want this thing in Hindi, I have. a small video on this on YouTube channel called Pro Coach. And also, if you want very detailed information about platform channel, then there is a blog writing custom platform specific code on flutter.dev. You can follow this thing. This is exactly what I told you, and there are a lot more information with this. Okay, so there is a video Android, iOS, Flutter, platform channel in Hindi. Okay, plus let's see our output. Uh, say, I'm pressing initial method channel, and it is hello from somewhere in the galaxy. Okay, so keep it in mind whenever you're working with Android or platform specific thing. You have to restart your app. Uh, you can do any hot reload or hot restart. Okay, and yeah, that's it from my side into this. Let's get to the questions. Okay, yeah. So we know platform channels and we know how to initiate that. Thank you. And I'm open to any questions right now. We can get any question.
So Vivek, there are a few questions in the question pan. Can you have a look into those?
Oh yeah. Can you please share recording to practice after session? Yeah, we will get recording of this session. Or if in some case recordings are not available, you can go to the video which I showed you, that is on YouTube. So you can search for platform channel pro pro coach. You will get that.
So by the way, all folks, I mean, we are recording session. So if by any chance, if you have missed something, don't worry about that. We're gonna put this recording on YouTube channel again, so you can look into that. So Vivek, there are a few more questions. If you can answer those as well, that would be nice.
Can I show any view from Android in Flutter? So yes, you can, but that is really expensive for your application. So I'll suggest don't do that. Make your views in Flutter and call them from Android. So yes, you can also call Flutter functions from Android. Okay, I'll share. I'll make a video on that on YouTube. Just follow me on Pro Coach on my YouTube channel. Uh, is there another? Okay, yeah. Can I learn Flutter easily? Yes, it is very easy. The Flutter works on Dart language, and Dart language is really easy to adopt. It is similar to Java and JavaScript. So you can also start Dart as your first language. So it is really easy. Video is good. I have a doubt. Without using method channel, can we use that functionality? So yes, you can. So there is question without using method channel, can we use that functionality? See, uh, so when your application start, at that time some functions are called, like on start, on create in Android part. So if you can put that function in those methods which are started by Android, then it will work perfectly. But I don't think that will be very useful if you want to perform the same task over and over again.
We
Firebase,
have Andy raised a hand. Sam Surya, you wanna ask question? Wait, I'll just unmute him. Yeah, Sam, you can ask your question.
Sam, we can't hear you. Hello, Sam. Okay.
Bro, is there any way that we can um, communicate with each mobile, like sharing data through Wi-Fi and hotspot? Any package is there?
I don't think so right now there is any package in Flutter. But again, there will be, and I'm very sure there will be some packages or libraries in Android or in iOS, so we can use
Okay.
those using platform channels. So if you know how to work with
Okay,
Android,
thank you,
then
bro.
you're good to go to make any packages. Like if you're able to do that in Flutter using those platform channels, you can make your own package and release it to pub.dev.
Oh,
So
so
platform channel is one which is working
okay,
behind all those.
okay. By using platform channel, it doesn't decrease the performance, right?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, bro. Thank you.
Yeah. Do we have any other questions? So there is one question. Firebase Auth is not supported for Flutter desktop, but it works in mobile. In mobile, Flutter desktop is not yet stable. So Flutter desktop it is still in their experiment mode, and I think it is available on beta channel. But if you, I suggest don't go for Flutter desktop if you want to build any commercial products. But if you want to do some experiment, then yeah, Flutter is good to go. And for Firebase Auth, there are some JS libraries. You can try those things with uh, with those. I mean that thing. So those things work on HTTPS. So in and Flutter Desktop supports HTTPS. So through HTTPS, you can do that. Is it possible to integrate Google Speech to Text API in Flutter? Yeah, I think its package is already on pub.dev. You can search for it. And again, if you didn't find any package to that uh, or any solution to that, but you know there are some solutions to this thing in Android. So you can again go to platform channel and you're good to go. Managing the state in Flutter is very tough. Your opinion on this? Uh, okay, managing the state in Flutter is not very tough. Yeah, trust me. So when I started using working Flutter, so I think for an year and a half I didn't use any state management, but still my app was working very smoothly. Okay, so it is not tough, it is how you're making it. Don't use much more streams into your Flutter application. Just try to imagine how many functions you are running at a time. So whenever you use provider or block, so at that time many functions informal streams that are going into your Flutter application. So when more functions will run in your application will become slow. At that time, try to reduce all those not useful functions into your application. For example, we have let's say login screen, and you're done with your login functionality. Then you should close all your stuff related to login, like login provider, login block, login APIs, everything. So if you manage all those things relatively, your app will be faster. Is Flutter good for IoT devices like ESP32? So Flutter can be deployed on any devices. So I didn't try it, but I have seen a video where a guy have used Flutter into what is that there is some IoT device onto that. So I think it can be used. So just take advice. Whenever you want a screen or whenever you want so Flutter is just an UI platform. And Flutter is trying to be deployed on each and every device that is available in the world. And Flutter is now on Linux, Flutter is on Android and web. So if ESP32 supports desktop or Ubuntu or any Linux platform, then you can try and it will work. can't we learn Flutter without knowing about Android Studio? Yes, you can. Android Studio is for Android. It is not, you know, it's not like that. If you want to learn Flutter, you have to learn Android Studio. You can use VS Code also, and I think there are some more IDEs for Flutter. But I prefer Android Studio because I was Android developer and I was very familiar with Android Studio. And if you know, if you're not very good with Android Studio and if you find some difficulties, then you can switch to VS Code. That is also very good. Like Android emulator, do you have emulator in iOS to test Windows? In Windows also? Huh? Do we have any emulator for iOS to test? Okay, okay. So uh, iOS is very closed environment. You cannot find iOS emulators on Windows, and if you found that, then that will not work very efficiently. There are some ways to test it. Uh, like uh, you can use Mac OS and make a virtual machine into your Windows and try into that, but that will be slow. Again, and you can use Code Magic, and there are some online tools available which help you to get online simulators for iOS. You can start that also. Implementing the ML project in Flutter is possible. Yes, it is possible. In Flutter, we have TensorFlow packages. So if you know TensorFlow, you can easily work onto that. Also, now that you know that we can use Java, Kotlin, or Swift, or any language, I mean any platform language into Flutter. So you can build those things into uh, your uh, your platform part, and you can call that from Android as well. My IDE VS Code building previous project, even if I change the project, if I hot restart, it shows the current project. What may be the problem? So there may be problem of your path. So everything in IDE work on a path. For example, when I want to run an application, I pass it a path of my starting application, like main.dart in Flutter. So just check out if VS Code is taking your previous project's path, and if it's taking, then choose your new path, or you can you can open you can open terminal and run your Flutter projects from there. Which state management technique is good, like provider, scope model, block, products? So everything's good. It depends on how you want to do. For example, I like provider for very small and basic applications. I
Can you
use
read out the
scope
question?
model sometimes. Yeah.
Can you read out the question a little bit loud so that it will be
Okay.
visible?
So the question is, which management technique is good, like provider, scope model, block, redux? So I personally use block and at the most of the times, and provider, I use provider for small applications like 1 2 or 3 or 4 screens. I never use any state management technique for 2 to 3 page of screen. Scope model, sometimes it is useful, but provider and block are a type of scope model only. Try to use redux if you are familiar with it. If you're not, then you will get very difficulties in implementing redux. Also, there are some like mobx is also easy. So it depends on what you want to choose. And trust me, your application can run very efficiently without using any state management. Just try not to reload your screen every time. Can we use Dart to develop web apps? Yeah, there is. If you can search for Angular Dart, you can find something. Uh, you can find something where JavaScript is not used, but in place of JavaScript, they are using Dart. So it is like complete Angular, but without JavaScript, and it is backed by Dart language. I'm just still struggle to enable display pop-up window while running on background. When I was search for that, all our shows display pop-up window. So I guess Vijay Kumar, you're trying to show some dialogue. Uh, so uh, okay, so keep this thing in remember whenever you want to show something in Flutter, you have to have a context of your screen, of your current screen. You cannot show you cannot show a new screen and if you don't have any context of your current screen. So while displaying a pop-up window, try to have your context, and if you have a context, then your window will pop up surely. How to implement recycler view in
Vivek, sorry to interrupt. So we can take only one more question and then uh, we'll discuss all other question at the end. We are not deleting any question, so we'll take this
okay,
question at
okay.
okay. So just answer one question out of what been asked so far, and then we'll move to next session.
Okay, so there is one question from Sam Surya. Does Flutter has a market jobs in India? Yes, the jobs are increasing in India for Flutter developers. You can find that on LinkedIn, on Naukri.com, and any other job recruiting platforms. Okay, so I think I'm done for the session. We can take all the questions after the next session. Okay, thank you for having me, GDG Chennai.
Yeah, Vivek, thanks a lot for joining us. So stay with us till end of the session. We got a lot of good questions as well, so I hope you can answer them. So thanks, Vivek. Thanks a lot. Folks, we have something interesting now, and Julie gonna show you something. So let's see what she got in bucket.
Hello everyone, and welcome to you all, because Flutter and something special was the most demanding at last event. And the other thing which we have for you is a Kahoot game, because we saw so many feedbacks and the comments people were asking for Flutter and Kahoot game. So you already had a one session about the Flutter, so let's move to Kahoot game. So I have a 10 question for you all. In that we'll have some questions related to Flutter, very basic questions, and some very general questions. So here, whoever will win, we have a JetBrains coupons for you all. So you guys can contact Abhishek for that. So, so I think my screen is visible to everyone. Mostly yes.
Yes, Julie, it's
So
visible.
there is a quiz game for you all. So let's play. I think we have 47 attendees as of now. So what you can do is you all can enter this code and start participating. Guys, just make it fast. It's gonna be very easy questions and you all can win.
Can you reduce the volume?
Yeah, I'll do. Is it fine now?
Yeah. Can you share the link where I'm supposed to go?
Okay, in group you want me to share the link?
Yeah, or I'll just say it
I don't
out
think
that.
so. They have to just go to the web, do kahoot.it, and then they can enter this pin and then they can play. This is the link. I'll wait for a few more minutes so other people can also join so we can start.
Give some more interesting names. We got Corona here.
And
Oh
if
my
you
God.
guys are facing any problem, just let us know in the question answer section so we can resolve it for you all.
Okay, so
Okay,
I
so I'm
think
just very
we might
amazed
have
with this person. His name is I Hate Flutter. That is really interesting. Corona. Interesting names are coming. I think after listening to Ayush, you might change your thought about Kotlin and Flutter, whoever is this person. One more minutes and then I'll start.
Hey guys, this is Ayush, and whoever wrote I Hate Flutter, I just hope that after today's GDG Chennai session, your viewpoint is transformed and it is changed, and you look forward to learning Flutter. Thank you. I'll go to mute again. Bye.
I think I should start now.
yeah, let's start.
When will lockdown be over? Never. 1 month, 6 months, 1 year. Never. Okay, so I'll tell you one thing. For few questions, we have only 10 seconds time for you all. And the questions we have thought it might take some time for you all to answer. So those have only 20 seconds. So just make it fast because here your speed on and answer both matters, not just your right answers. So we'll move to the next question. Flutter freak. Nice. What is the first thing you'll do after lockdown is over? Won't take bath for 2 months and take revenge? Or fast food? Go for a long ride? Do party with friends? Oh, nice. Let's see the scoreboard. Nice. Where to look out for the next meetup? YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, meetup.com. Nice. So other people who have said YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. So no matter wherever you go, that link will direct you to meetup.com itself. So the right answer is meetup.com. Flutter Freak is again back. What is the biggest event for GDG Chennai? Nice. When will Dev Fest happen? I don't think so. Why you have said Jan to April or December or May to August? Okay, scoreboard is changing. Is all GDG Chennai events are free of cost? Very tough question, right? 6 people said no.
Okay, for those who don't know about this thing, so we usually conduct all the meetups, all the events for free. Even the DevFest, which is the biggest conference we do annually, it's also free. So just take that thing out of your mind. Yeah, we do not take any money. We don't charge anything. Okay, so it's all free.
Yeah. And even if someone is asking you from our name, don't pay. I don't think so anyone will ask, but still.
Yeah, it will be free for them.
When was Flutter 1 released? This answer should be right because you all are Flutter people. Nice. I think this one Ayush should handle. Let's see the scoreboard. Yeah, Flutter Freak has to win this. Which of these do not have a children parameter? Nice. Nice. Last questions. Still a good.
We have a winner here, Flutter Freak. So what's your real name?
So okay, so
So
guys, I would like to tell you all, okay, please write your real name into the question answer place so we can know and then we can give you that coupon. This is what you wanted to say, Abhishek? Okay,
yeah,
so
you
are
can
we ready
type
for the next
your name
speaker
in.
now?
Yeah, so you can type your name in chat window and we'll take care of that so that we can send you those coupons over a mail. Okay, so Ayush is ready here with another interesting story how actually he started doing animation in Flutters, and he also like gave an amazing talk in DevFest regarding doing
Sure.
Flutter on Linux. So it was really amazing, and I hope you guys will like it. So over to Ayush.
Yeah, I just wanted to add one more thing. I don't know how many of you really believe in magic. So just be ready because he is gonna show you some magic with Flutter, and definitely the person who has said I hate Flutter, he might change his mind. So over to you, Ayush.
Hi everyone. Hi Flutter developers. Hi Android developers. Hi web developers and everyone present here. I know that it is very difficult. It is an amazing job that you have done today. You have taken out time from a Saturday afternoon. I know that hurts. This time has to be utilized only and only for sleeping. And that is what I do. That is what most of us who are working or attending online classes do. So thank you so much for taking out the time. And another thing that is happening today, other than the GDG Chennai event, is it is Story Day. So happy Story Day to everyone. Since Vivek has already started the trend, I will continue with it. And here's my story. Actually, it is not my story. It is a story that I've created in Flutter using animated widgets that I'll be showing you. I do not have a slide deck. I do not have a presentation. I do not have a PPT because I don't really like spending my time on presentations. So we jump straight into action. But before that, um, there is something very interesting that I could note today. One, that most of you, or like a very considerable number or in the audience, are actually well versed with the basics of Flutter. That is really nice. And given the standard of the questions that you guys asked, I was really impressed. And this is one of the most educated in terms of Flutter. Obviously, this is one of the most educated and aware audiences that I've ever seen. So kudos to you. Clap, clap. Apart from that, you would have heard various advantages about Flutter, various pros about Flutter as to how Flutter is so amazing. It is so fast, smooth, amazing performance and all that. But more than that, there are three things which define Flutter, which distinguish Flutter from the rest of the frameworks. And these are the three things which actually tend to matter a lot once you dive deeper into any technology or any framework. The first of it is the developer experience, the experience that you get out of coding or programming in that language or using that framework or using that toolkit. So Flutter, since the beginning, since Flutter was in pre-alpha stage, since Flutter was in beta, since Flutter had not even hit the first stable build back in December 2018, people had been using it in production applications. One of the best examples of that is the Reflectly app. I'm sure you would have heard about it. The app's name is Reflectly. It is almost in every Flutter conference, in every Flutter showcase, you will see that the Reflectory app has been featured. And that is because it was one of the very first Flutter applications that was deployed into production. And it is so smooth, so efficient, so amazing that it has been, topping the charts on the iOS App Store since forever, since it was published. So the developer experience has been amazing with Flutter. The tooling that is offered, the extensions that are offered, those are what those are the important factors, the important aspects that actually distinguish Flutter from rest of the frameworks. The second is the community. The community behind Flutter is impeccable. They are enthusiastic, sometimes over enthusiastic, very excited to work, very excited to always help everyone. And if you have been coding in Flutter for some time, I definitely think that you would agree to me that whenever you had some doubt, whenever you had a question, whenever you had a concern, whenever you had a challenge that you were not able to solve, be it Stack Overflow, be it Twitter, be it Gitter, be it the Flutter community Slack channel, or a lot of other sources and channels through which Flutter provides its support. The community has always been there. I know that they have always been there for me, to support me, to help me out. And so is the case with every member of the Flutter community. People are always there to help you out, and that is what matters. Eventually, when you're trying to solve a bug, you cannot do it alone. I mean, you can, probably not, but it will take a huge amount of time for you to solve something that maybe with some help, some guidance, some direction, you can solve it in seconds or minutes. So when you need the people of Flutter to be there, they will be there for you. And you can see that in the huge number of articles and videos and tutorials that have been posted about the different things about Flutter. So yeah, the community is very vibrant and they're very enthusiastic about this product. Third, Google. Now, Flutter is a Google product. Android is also a Google product. But Flutter has been very actively pushed and advocated by Google. Okay. And because the community around Flutter is so strong, is so vibrant, that the small and compact Flutter team that they have, I don't think there are more than 20 people in that team. I don't think there are even 20 people in that team. But even though they have such a small team, because of the community support and because of Google's persistent encouragement to this product, they have continuously been pushing forward to make this product better, to make Flutter better for each and every developer out there. And because of that, in the usage report that was released 3 days ago by Tim Sneath, the product manager of Flutter, he had noted that over 2 million developers had used Flutter to build applications in the last quarter itself, with India topping the charts. So in India, the usage of Flutter is the highest. So trust me, if you are going to proceed to learn Flutter, or if you have already started your journey with Flutter, you are in the right place. Okay. Now, since we have had this basic, energy uplifting conversation about Flutter, let's dive deep into the topic for today. The topic for today is exploring animated widgets, a Flutter story. And that's, as I said, I do not make presentations, so that's the only slide. If I do this, then you will see a funny cat or rabbit, I don't know, saying thank you. So we won't go there. I'm not going to thank you yet. Thank you for attending, sure. So let's see the story. And yep, it's there. All of you are aware that currently this lockdown situation, this quarantine situation, is caused by this weird thing called coronavirus, also technically known as COVID-19. So I've created a Flutter story around that, and you will see that in a lot of places I will not trigger any action. Things will just happen. Okay, so let's begin the story. I'll just click on begin story. The threat is as real as it gets. The world is at war with an unknown enemy. And, you know, I am definitely very sure that you would have seen a very similar page, right? You would have seen this page hundreds of times, if not thousands, when you create a new Flutter project. Whenever you create a new Flutter project, you get this counter app as the boilerplate application that Flutter gives you by default. And it is actually one of the perfect examples for a beginner because it has a stateful widget, it has a counter, something that you can interact with, a floating action button. So I thought that why not present you something that is very familiar to you. Okay, but I've made a few tweaks here and there. The app does not say counter or Flutter example app. The app bar says COVID destruction illustration. And let's see what happens when you click on this plus floating action button. When you click on this floating action button, the text enlarges and then goes back, decreases again. The size first increases and then decreases again, mimicking a heartbeat, because that is what is lost every second. Every second, every minute. In fact, from the start of this conversation, a lot of heartbeats have been lost out there in the world. So that is what this depicts. It is actually a very basic, simple illustration showing the destruction that this virus has caused. We can do that fast also. Next, if we go to the next page, we will see that all hope is not lost, because we still have all the frontline workers and us who are working tirelessly to fight this epidemic, to fight this disease, and help our country and the world move ahead, go past it. The first picture depicts the doctors and medical staff who have been working tirelessly for us, for our sake. The second depicts the policemen, the law enforcement agencies who have taken hits, beatings, done overtime day in and day out, but they still are there on the roads to protect us, to ensure that the doctors can do their work effectively. The third is the cleanliness practices that all of us have adopted. I mean, for me personally, I could never have even imagined that there would come a paradigm shift when, someday every time I touch my door or every time I go out and come back, I will wash my hands again and again, or every once in a while I'll go sanitize my hands. This is a complete paradigm shift that has taken place in the world, and that is something that is going to help us out in fighting not Flutter, sorry, in fighting the coronavirus. And the fourth is people like us, people like you, people like me, and people, all the people who have taken it upon themselves to put in that extra effort to start working from home, to start working remotely, so that the world economy stays in place. So how do you actually stay safe in these times? First, wash your hands frequently, definitely. Second, stay at home. Third, eat healthy food. But the most important, what is the most important thing? What am I missing out? Anything else? Social distancing. That's right. Stay at home, maintain social distancing, and you will be definitely be safe and good to go. So that was my Flutter story presenting presented to you about the coronavirus. So let me just quickly go back to the chat, and I want to know if all of you followed along. Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, Ayush.
Guys? Yeah, okay. So tell me in the chat if all of you were able to see the different types of animations that were used inside this small story. You can just write yes or something like that. Attendees, come on, hurry up. I want to see some messages in the chat that say the different kind of animations that you saw during the story, like fade in, fade out,
So
stuff.
Ayush, you can do the question panel actually. They are replying there.
Acha, okay. That was a lot, right? So some of you, I think, what do you think it was? What do you think the story that I showed you, what was it? I mean, it definitely wasn't a video because I was interacting with it, but nowadays you also have videos thanks to Netflix that you can interact with. It is an engineering marvel in itself. But you know what this was? This was a very simple Flutter application running on my desktop. Using Flutter for desktop, yes, that's right. It was a very simple Flutter application running on my desktop using Flutter for desktop. And all the animations had been created only using a few, integer or double values over here and there and timing them properly. So let me show you the code. This is the code. Is the screen visible? Can you see all the pages?
Yeah, Ayush, it's visible.
Yeah. So first of all, this is the first screen that you could see. Okay. As you can see, I have not used any ticker provider mixin. I have not used any animation controller. All of this, all of these animations were carried out, were done flawlessly using the inbuilt, or as we say in technical terms, the implicitly animated widgets inside Flutter. These are like tools which you can just plug and play. You do not have to install anything. I mean, if you put it in perspective, it is like coding on Dartpad online, where you do not have to set up a Dart environment, and you can just open Dartpad and start coding, and it will just compile and run everything. So it's like that. You do not have to provide any, obviously you can customize it, but you do not have to provide any advanced configurations for it to work. These are just plug and play. So the first one, as you could see, had an animated opacity widget. What this animated opacity widget does is that it takes, basically it needs two properties, the opacity property and the duration property. In fact, fun fact, not fun fact, actually a very knowledgeable fact, all the animated widgets that you see right now in this code will need this parameter called duration, because they need to know in how much time they would have to carry out that transition from one screen to another, from one state to another. And all of this is carried out using the simple function called set state that Flutter has so gratefully given us, generously given us is the word. So using animated opacity, you can provide a duration. Here I have provided seconds as one, and then you can provide the opacity. You can either provide opacity will be a double value, but I just wanted on the screen, if I can show it to you again, I just wanted either the widget to be visible or to be completely invisible. Okay, so when I click on begin story, then as you can see that I think it will work better on the full screen. So when I click on begin story, you will see that the first line of text, that is COVID-19 in Flutter story, the second line of text, even these letters follow social distancing, and the begin story button itself will just hide. Okay, and it will not rapidly hide, it will animate to a hidden state, while this text in between will grow outwards, begin to have an increased space among within the characters within the length itself, and slowly and steadily it will fade out. So when I click on begin story, this is what happened, right? Let me just go back to the code. And yeah, as you saw, initially the opacity is set to 1 so that it is visible. After that, on pressed, that is when you click on the button begin story, you are actually triggering a function, a process that will set the opacity to 0. So the animated, you have just set the opacity to 0, so it should have immediately hidden. But because of this animated opacity widget, we are animating to that hidden state implicitly. You are not going to do any configuration, the widget handles it for you. Imagine the kind of possibilities that are that you can achieve using this. Also, you can specify something like a curve. You can go to the official website of flutter.dev to learn more about curves and how you can actually use the different curves to change the appearance of your animation. So I had used two animated widgets over here. One was animated opacity that I already told you about, and the other was animated default text style. I think after I have explained animated opacity, it is very pre-explanatory or self-explanatory that what this will do. So animated default text style will take a duration like all other animated widgets. It can also, you can also specify a curve. You have to specify a child, that is the text, and a text style that you want to animate. So here the initial text style was this, wherein the font size was 24 and the letter spacing was 1. But what we did on triggering that function was that we set the font size to 40, set the letter spacing, that is the space between the individual letters in the text string, to 20, and we set the color to white so that it can blend in with the background and give a fade out effect, and set the font weight to 100 so that the text can gradually grow thinner and it will appear as if it is disappearing. So this is how it was done. We just replaced the text style, and the animated default text style widget handled everything on its own. So this was the first page. The second page is the thread page, wherein you see these animations. Let me show you to you again. On this page, you see that this text is just gradually appearing, right? This text is just gradually appearing. And yeah, I had set the auto navigation. Let me just comment that out for now. So you will see that the text has gradually appeared. It is in fact very cinematic, if you may. All I've done is I'm not really, specifying the animating the text style in itself. What I'm trying to do here, just a second. Okay. So what I'm trying to do here is that we have already defined the different styles of text. Basically, these are two styles, the white text and the red text. And for the staggered style of animation, we are just using future.delayed to first trigger the animation. Again, this is just animated opacity. All the different text elements have been wrapped in animated opacity. as I explained earlier, the same. But this time, for the duration, I have given it different properties which grow exponentially. So for example, the first one has a duration of 400 milliseconds, while the second one has 2000, the third has 3000, and the fourth has 4000. So each of these animated widgets, while they are triggered together, they will take a lot of they will take different time for getting completed. So using this property or using this method, we can achieve that staggered animation. Similarly, I mean, I cannot go over the entire code right now, that won't be possible, but just to show you the end page, there is this other thing called animated container that you can use. Yeah, in the efforts intro page, you saw that cool animation, right? You saw this cool animation over here. Just a second. Sorry, organizers, I'm taking a bit more time, but I'm almost done. So if you go over here, then you were able to see this cool animation where the text and the row of images just centered themselves. All of this was very easily possible using this animated container that we have over here. And we just specified the top padding for the images row, and once it changed, it animated itself, and all that cool animation was possible. So using, there are a lot more animated widgets in Flutter also. There is animated position, there is animated align, there is animated physical model, and there are a lot of other widgets in Flutter as well that you can use. But yeah, so only using 3 animated widgets, I was able to create that entire cinematic story inside a Flutter application running on desktop. So imagine if you spend some more time, what all you can do, right? So before showing you the thank you, I would like to guide you to a place where from where you can learn these animated widgets and how to use them, or even dive deeper into animation controller and how you can exploit the complete potential of Flutter in terms of animations. If you just search for Flutter on YouTube, you will get the official Flutter channel. In there, go to playlists, and you will see this playlist called Making Animations in Flutter. There are 6 videos in total. You can go through all of them, and they will give you a very good idea of how you can exploit the full potential of Flutter for animations. Although also, just before ending, this is to show you the power of the Flutter community. Just see this tweet. All of you might already know that Flutter is only for you creating 2D applications. While there are hacks around it by using Unity views, you can also make 3D applications, not in the official build of Flutter, but people have customized it, and that is why I say that the community behind Flutter is so dynamic, so vibrant. Just look at this video. Can you see the 3D thing happening? It's
Yeah, Ayush.
completely purely using Flutter. So yeah, I think that was all for the talk. That was about exploring animated widgets in Flutter. Well, I did reroute it through a story and other things, but yep, that was it. If you want to get in touch with me, then you can definitely first of all follow me on Twitter. Definitely, my handle is ayushekar17. I post some cool stuff about Flutter, so that's there. Apart from that, you can also check out my GitHub. It's ayush221b. I'm a Sherlock fan. Peace. Also, you can also connect with me on LinkedIn. Just search for Ayush Shekhar. Hopefully, I'll pop up. That was it from my side for the presentation. I will definitely go to the questions next. So I think I can stop sharing my screen now. Yeah.
So if you have a question, please go ahead and ask the question. And whatever question was there in queue, we would like to answer those questions as well.
See, there are some questions which I can see. Most of the questions were answered by Vivek in the previous session, but there are some questions that I can see over here. Flutter versus React Native, why people are using React Native more than Flutter? Well, I think it's quite understandable because React Native is older than Flutter. Hence, it is seemingly, quote unquote, pun intended, more stable than Flutter. So the community has had more time to adopt to it. The companies and the industry has had more time to adopt to it, so they are using React Native more than Flutter. But don't worry, when Flutter is 3 or 4 years old, and it has people have seen and people have witnessed and realized the potential that Flutter has to offer, it will definitely outgrow React Native, that is for sure. Also, how to start learning Flutter and where can I get the resources to learn? That is a very good question. Just go to Google and write Flutter introductory course free. You will get the first search result as a Medium link. On that is an article on the official Flutter Medium publication, which was published by, I don't know who. I think the product manager of Flutter, and it will give you a link to a free 10-hour course by London App Brewery, which goes through all the foundation and introduction part about Flutter. So you can start learning Flutter from there. Just go to Google and type Flutter introductory course. Okay. Apart from that, the PPT was created by Flutter. No, that was in DevFest last year. Thank you for remembering. But this PPT was created using Google Slides. Yeah, it was just a 2-slide PPT. I think you're confusing it with the story. The story was created completely using Flutter. And yes, there was scaling, transitions, pop in, pop out, fade in, and all the different kinds of animations that was there. And all of that can be achieved very easily using the implicit animated widgets inside Flutter. I can't wait to see how you explore Flutter and how you come out with your creative ideas and your creative inventions. So best of luck. And yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
So hello guys, thank you so much for being with us for this long. We already extended this event for 20 minutes. But I hope you all have learned enough, and after going to your place, you'll be start working on Flutter. And if you have already started, you'll start exploring Flutter. So this is what our end aim was. We wanted you to learn and know more about Flutter, because that's what all the participants have been asking us from very long time. So I hope it was a very useful for you all. And do we have a feedback form? So
Yeah,
yeah, so can you just put that link over there so they all can
I think people can answer on
You
the
can answer
screen
right
itself.
now.
yeah, so
Yeah,
now you
people
guys
can.
can go and answer this.
Also, please answer honestly, because an honest review
Yeah,
is what
because
will help us improve. Only 40% of the attendees have voted. Guys, can you just hurry up? We can close the feedback soon.
yeah,
Also, I think we'll definitely be sharing a comprehensive feedback Google form for all the attendees
yeah,
post the session, in which you'll be able to, tell us in a more comprehensive manner as to what you would like to have next and what you thought about the session. So stay tuned for that.
so I think we are done. So can we wrap up here? Guys,
Just a
please
minute for
also do
another
tweet
poll.
about this event in Twitter, tag GDG Chennai and Google Devs India. And okay, there is one another poll. Which of the following topics you would like to see in upcoming meetups? So the one thing which we have understand is let's not have so many multiple topics in one talk. So according to your choice and according to the answers which you will be giving. Okay, so people again want to listen a Flutter. Oh my God, Flutter is winning.
Again, Flutter is winning. That's
Yeah,
how powerful the community is. That's how powerful the interest is. Thank you,
I
guys. I
think
feel really proud.
guys, please do vote for ML. Yeah, please do vote for open source contributions as well, because that is something which I think very few people are aware of. So if you guys will vote for that, you'll be get to know so many other stuff and new things, and why it's so important to contribute in open source and other stuff.
While Juhi has tried so hard to convince all of you, you're still going at a 79% for Flutter. That's really nice.
Ah. So what we can plan is we can have one other session in, like, let's have alternative Flutter session.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, in the future sessions, if you guys are, planning on devoting more time, then we can have some live coding sessions as well, wherein you can also participate in the session and you can code it on your own machines so that it can be a more hands-on experience. But that all depends on the time and the interest that we see in the audience. So yeah,
Yeah. So I think so we shouldn't have added Flutter because today Flutter talk was already there. So yeah, that could be the good
Yeah.
choice.
also the people who have voted bad, please, we would request you to take out time and ping us personally and let us know, or ping GDG Chennai on Twitter, or find any of us on LinkedIn or Twitter, and please do let us know as to what you found that was not working out for you, so that we can improve that also.
Yeah.
Yes, and we have recorded this session, so it will be also posted on YouTube.
Do go like, subscribe GDG Chennai at YouTube.
Definitely, that is the way to go.
Yeah, because that's how they'll know, okay, this is the new video which has been uploaded in this account. Any other questions do we have? So more, it's done.
Mhm. No, I think we are done. Yeah.
Okay.
I need a
So thank you
small
so much.
announcement. Small
Okay,
announcement
anyone
here.
wants to say something?
Uh,
Vivek, I think, yeah, Vivek wants to say.
Actually, I want to show my screen to everyone.
I think,
Hey
yeah.
guys, we I'm from Flutter Mumbai, and some of the Flutter communities from India like Surat, Ahmedabad, Vadodara, Bangalore, Hyderabad. We came together and we are hosting a Flutter Con India, which is from 1 to 3 May. So you
Wow.
can search, you can find it on. I'll share you the link, and it's from 1 May to 3 May. You can find it, and we are open for a call for speakers. So right now there is no registration form yet, and you can have that link and you can directly join us from there. Okay,
Yeah,
and you follow Twitter to get new updates on it. Thank you.
sure. Thank you so much, Vivek, for giving your time for us and to the Chennai people. And it was a great session by you. It was amazing and informative as well. So I think we should wrap up now. So
I got
Yeah,
something
we
to say.
can.
yeah, Abhishek is back.
Okay.
Hi, Abhishek.
Hi everyone again.
We
Yeah, so
missed
thanks a
you.
lot. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. And I missed few questions when we joined. A lot of people say hi to me. I'm really sorry I couldn't reply that time. I hope you all are doing good. And thanks a lot for joining. Plus, thanks a lot for asking me as well. So even if you have any question right now, you can ask right away. We have a time, little bit time. And
Okay.
if you missed anything, we have a recorded video, so no worry about that. And if you have any suggestions for, any sort of improvement in our upcoming sessions, or if you even don't want a break, if you don't want a game or anything, or if you have some interesting topics to be discussed during break, you can actually share those with us so that, we can share with others as well. So I hope you had a great time with us, and let's see you next week.
Yeah. Please do tweet about this event in Twitter. And I think we'll be sending them the feedback form as well, Abhishek.
Yeah.
Yeah, so by that time, let's not involve Flutter this time because this time again Flutter is winning and they want to have again one more session on Flutter. So we'll be sending them the feedback. So do let us know what you want to hear next event, and
Yeah.
even something else which you want to add on. If you want to be a speaker, do reach to Abhishek. He'll help you out how to be a speaker for our events. So thank you so much.
And I see one question there. Is there a price for a Kahoot quiz? No, Kahoot is free, so you can actually use for making quiz for yourself as well. And
What is the question?
like whether the Kahoot quiz was paid or free.
Okay, so it's paid and free both. So if you are a student, you can have a access for the free account. But if you work, I don't think so. You'll be getting free service.
Not able to see the screen.
What?
Please.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
Yeah, he was asking about price. So I said, now we have a JetBrains coupons for you all because definitely we cannot give you goodies this time because of lockdown and all. So prices will be also virtual.
Yeah, so we have JetBrains coupons, so don't worry. Winners will get those through email. So we'll
Hmm.
definitely share that. So anything else, folks, you have
Yes,
a
guys,
question?
sorry to interrupt, but I see a few questions, a few pointers that if we have time, since we have time, we can discuss. The one question over here was that please share the COVID story Flutter code. Definitely, I will put it up on GitHub. You can go check it out on my GitHub profile. I will share it on GitHub and then I will tweet about it. So do follow me on Twitter also, hashtag shameless self-promotion alert. After that, does Flutter animation work smoothly in lower power devices? One thing that Flutter has been very proud of is that is the high performance, because Flutter renders everything from the in the range of 60 fps to 120 fps. So if that device is capable of running a Flutter application, then you can rest assured that it will definitely run very smoothly and in a very performant manner. Also, thank you, GDG Chennai, for all the effort. Thank you for attending. Thank you for your time. Um, ML in Flutter, yeah, that this is very interesting, in fact. So ML in Flutter, you can actually go ahead and use TensorFlow Lite models inside your Flutter application. If you go to the official Flutter package repository, the website's name is pub.dev, and write tflite, tflite, then you will come across this package known as the tflite package for Flutter. Using that, you can import TensorFlow Lite models inside your Flutter application, and you can use them. Apart from that, if you're using the Firebase as your backend, you can also, there is also a package called Firebase ML Vision, using which you can use the Firebase ML machine learning vision API inside your Flutter app directly without integrating it with platform channels. So that's there. And ultimately, as Vivek said, and as Vivek talked about earlier, if you do not find anything that is readily available in Flutter, you can make it readily available in Flutter, right? So I think that, oh, there is one more question, widget build method I'm calling service. Guys, if there is a doubt regarding your own code, I would rather answer it personally. You can ping me on LinkedIn or Twitter. Can you make a session on Flutter plus ML? Organizers, I know you do not want another Flutter session, but definitely
Of
maybe
course we want, but we
maybe in the
also want
coming
some
weeks,
other sessions too.
we will definitely have a session on Flutter plus ML in which we can talk about how we can integrate machine learning models inside Flutter. So that is definitely on the map. Thank you for taking it up and thank you for the questions. Over to you, organizers.
Thank you so much, Ayush, for your time and for this amazing talk. So I think Abhishek, we should wrap it up. Wrap it
Yeah,
up.
yeah, sure. Thanks a lot, guys, and whoever is there. Thank you so much, and keep encouraging us to share more content with you. Okay, thank you. So we
Hmm.
are dropping off.